Good morning, world. Um, so I woke up this morning, and first thing I see is little baby Krishna on my screen. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I I get to thinking, and I wanted to share that with you. Krishna represents the entirety of creation in one being, like Jesus, like Zoroaster, like Buddha doesn't. Buddha just represents somebody that is awake. The original woke is Buddha. So Krishna is somebody that represents somebody that is aware of his divinity completely, or is his divinity, is present his divinity, is the divinity. Prabhupada calls it the supreme personality of Godhead, which means the absolute perfect human. He's not really human, is he? He's actually God. But he goes through these different human phases. Baby, you know, he's a baby. He's an adolescent. He's a preteen. He's an adolescent. He's a man. He's a king. He's a husband. He's a father, and he's still somehow God, which I find very curious. Because how can the totality of existence be represented in a person, the personality, a human personality? And and then I think about it deeper and I say, well, the essence of God, I mean, it's in the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of God, the soul of things. Everything has a soul that's representative of God. So so within every being, every rock, every tree leaf, God is present. You just have to find it. You just have to find that God essence of it, the highest, the most beautiful, the most perfect, the supreme. And trying to find that within us is the job. I mean, if you read the Bible carefully, Christ doesn't want followers. Christ wants Christs. He wants people to become like him, to be him. It's not that you're going to live a righteous life and be pardoned after death. It's that you're going to try to emulate what Christ did. And what did Christ do? Really, he went around healing people. That's all he did. That was the essence of his teaching, was going around healing people. I'm no doctor, so but I can try to go around and try to help cats. Is that a Christ-like thing to do? Because they're not human people, but they're cat people. They're still people. They're still souls. And I take care of these souls. So is that the best I can do? Because if you don't think in terms of Krishna and Christ and Buddha and what affects you directly, then it's a worthless exercise. If you say to yourself, I'm a Christian, and then you go and you fight a war, you're not being a Christian. If you say to yourself, oh, I don't know, Millet, oh, I'm this or I'm that, and you don't do the work, what good is it? And there's so much confusion about the work. That's where we get into trouble, is when everybody takes their own interpretation, their own justification. They justify their behavior, their thoughts, their ideas, their cats, on what they understand of the Bible and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita and all the sacred books. And then in that justification, we're into, 9/11 and the war in Israel and all that crap. I mean, it is evident to me that we're fighting the great jihad, the great holy war of all times. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that we are entering into a phase with Ukraine and Russia and all that stuff. It's like a final phase of Terence McKenna called it the Terence McKenna called it the he said that we needed an archaic revival. You need to bring back the ancient ways, and definitely I can see that. I can see where we are being forced into reconsidering all our religious ideas and everything because of the internet, because of everything that is connected, because now we can actually see right then and there what's really going on uh, around the world, and this is amazing, by the way. Joe Rogan and about DMT, and that's kind of like, that's the point. That's the point. The point is we have all this information now. We have all this amazing information on spirituality, on healing, and we're using it for what? Control each other and destroy each other, and have us buy shit. Man, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. It's like, you want to monetize your YouTube channel so you can buy more toys, so you can what? Demonstrate your moral superiority. I have 30 cats I gotta feed, and that's it. I don't have any more ambition than that right now. It's a difficult task. Getting these cats fed is like, and getting them spayed and neutered and vaccinated. I haven't been able to do that, so I may have another explosion of cats. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to abandon my cats. Obviously, I mean, I could. I think about it every day. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. And I don't have anybody except Mauricio that's helping me. So it's kind of frustrating, because there's a lot of work and the cats, they don't stop eating just because I don't have money to feed them, Of course, they're cats. And like they say in Jurassic Park, life will find a way, you know. But but what's funny is that we have the resources. We could end world hunger today. We could end war today. We could end, you know, uh, child abuse today. We could really do the work that needs to be done if only we were a less stupid species. If we were not so drawn to, and I'm going to call it sin because that's the only word that makes sense for it. Lust, greed, envy, rage, the capital sins are the thing that is fueling our suffering in this realm is sin. It's the sin of not being in control of those drives that take us to harm others and, and very often harm ourselves. So it's like a joke. It's like, what the frack? I mean, it sounds moralist and stupid, but it's not. It's actually what is causing the war in Israel? Well, a bunch of people who want to take a bunch of other people's land. You know, what is causing poverty? Well, a bunch of people that want to be owners of everything. And I had a conversation with Popo Arispe. He's one of the sons of the Coca-Cola company over there in Saltillo. He's a very wise guy. He's actually a very beautiful guy. I'm going to teach him tarot, and he's very rich. He's extremely wealthy. He's got like huge fortune, and we were talking about wealth and poverty. And I mentioned the because I like to dig it in a little bit with him because he's rich. I said it's more likely that a camel goes through the eye of a needle than a rich man goes into heaven. And he laughed and he said yes. And then I said, because I also like to bring equilibrium into equilibrate word balance, to balance my attacks. I said, well, but also it's the people that have a lot of things, a lot of money, are worried about losing. People that don't have anything are worried about what they don't have. And it's true. It's true. I mean, I spend so much time worried about where the fuck I'm going to feed these cats from. I got to buy the cat food. I got to buy the chicken parts. And it's not a lot of money. I mean, it's not like it's a huge amount of money. It's more or less possible for me to do it, but it bothers me. It makes me anguished. It makes me anguished and suffering. And all I would have to do is to leave the cats behind, which I don't want to do because I worry about the cats. So it's this all these things that they kind of like we are my belief, and it's just me. I'm not going to say I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm just what I believe. I believe we're very close, very very close to a huge change. The change can go for better or for worse. And if it goes for better, it's because we collectively begin to help each other. We collectively begin to not hurt each other and not judge each other and not try to fuck each other up, but begin to really help each other and to identify those sins that make us not want to help each other in ourselves. And the other way is, well, we have the tools to really fuck each other up right now. We can really, really create a totally dystopian hellhole of a planet. where people are not going to be more intelligent. They're not going to be more. It's going to be literally like a very tiny few on top that are going to control everybody else like slaves. The enslaving of mankind, the true slaves. I mean, not even happy slaves, just absolute slaves. And that it's kind of like which way you're going to choose, and in a sense, if you follow the spiritual path any way, it's inevitable that all sentient beings become enlightened. I mean, the basic premise of reality is that as entropy grows in the universe, and as the expansion of the universe goes forever, eventually it begins to contract into, or it begins to evolve into lighter and lighter forms of thought and all those things that create reality. The base of the illusion of reality begins to dissipate, and the truth of reality, which is the soul begins to appear. The conglomerate of all the souls, the Brahma Yoti, begins to appear at an end of history, at an end of universal expansion. What they call the black hole is actually just the joining of all the souls into one massive soul, because we are all one in the end. We are all one. I mean, the way I saw it in my journeys was how at the very end of time, all there was left was stardust that tried to coalesce into forms that it had taken before to remind itself of what it had been. And then there was two faces that were just made out of stardust, having a conversation about love. And then there was nothing. And then there was everything. It's an amazing moment in where everything that isn't is. And that's inevitable. It's going to take hundreds of millions of billions of trillions of years, but there is no turning back from that. The center of the universe is the essence of everything combined into one very dense very dense, very intense, very I imagine beautiful and terrible at the same time consciousness, into one consciousness that is the source of all other consciousness. And well, let's just see what let's watch this again.
When you do DMT, you're like, reality dissolves and you're there. Like the last one that I had was very strange. Like there was these jesters that were giving me the finger. They kept giving me the finger. I'm like, what is this about? And there's this weird fractal thing that's constantly going on. But every time I do it, it seems like these lessons that are wrapped up in these visions with communicating entities, whatever the fuck they are, whether they're figments of your imagination or whether they're real. There's always lessons in there. They look like jokers. They have like Joker masks on. And
you see them when your eyes are open or your eyes are closed?
Your eyes are closed. You see them way more visual. The visuals are way more potent than anything you could ever see with your eyes open. They give you the finger. They're spinning around giving you the finger.
And spiteful little bastard.
Well, they gave Joe Rogan the finger. I had slightly different interactions with him.
So they're having fun with you. They're letting you know, like, stop. I think it's their.
On psilocybin, in my room, I did see two gigantic clouds that covered the entire sky. There was two of them. And I had a feeling of absoluteness with them. That I was kind of like inside of a bubble of reality that they were creating and manipulating. Every little minutia of my room and me in my room was actually up to them to decide how to make it happen. And I was kind of like a television. They were just observing. They were just, watching. They could change everything, but they didn't, because they were just watching what I would do. They would have fun.
A way of telling you not to take yourself seriously. What do you think?
Exactly.
Look where we are. Like you
Exactly.
take yourself
Not to take yourself serious. Like, dude, you're just in this television show. Just act.
seriously, dude. We're in another dimension, and we're fucking mocking you.
But you're creating it, right? Your brain's creating it.
I don't know. Yeah, I would think so.
You think there's really something out there? Or?
What? I don't know. Like someone say, like maybe it's all in your head when you trip. Maybe it's not really happening. Okay, maybe. However, the experience is exactly the same. If you really are going into another dimension, you really are experiencing love in its purest form and forgiveness and just 100% wisdom, like all the bullshit and all the flaws of your thinking and all of the ridiculous aspects.
That is what you call samadhi, by the way, the absolute wisdom. And it's Mom called it Satchitananda. It's wisdom, Bienventura, bliss, and eternity.
Of the world around you revealed in some wonderful dance by jesters who are giving you the finger in a never-ending complex geometric pattern. Even if it's not real, it's still the same experience. Sure. Like if you really do go to that dimension and you really do experience these incredibly enlightened beings and they really do instill upon you wisdom and you really do hold on to a few grains of that sand that slips through your finger, you hold on to a little bit of it while you're there. You got handfuls, but you just hold on to a little bit. It's still the same experience.
Yeah, that shit's real, son.
It's real easy to dismiss and say it's all in your imagination. But for someone who has experienced it, it's very difficult to accept. And it's very difficult for you to say that you know for sure that it's all your imagination if you haven't experienced it.
The point here is that we all know we're going to die. And the DMT realm is very likely the realm we are in after death. That's just the way I see it. I mean, the DMT realm, man, it is death. Definitely. I mean, I was in Migplan, and on an ayahuasca ceremony in Oregon, I went directly to the literal place of the pre-Hispanic realm of the dead, the Mictlan, they call it. And there was this huge figure called Mictlantecuhtli. It was like the lord of this realm. And there was also millions of basically zombies. They were like zombies and skeletons that were just the souls of the already dead that were just there in this kind of disincarnated, very grisly realm. Like, they were all skeletons. Skeletons more than zombies, but some of them actually still had flesh in there, clinging to their bones, which is bizarre. And I was there, and that's where the Virgin Mary came to save me.
It's very. I appreciate from an intelligence standpoint someone's perspective on it that hasn't experienced it, but the reality is until you know what you're talking, until you've actually gone into that thing and know how titanically alien it is, You're really just saying things. You're just making noises with your mouth. There's no way you could know. You're not there anymore. You go to a different place. You experience a different reality.
More real than what we normally interpret as reality.
That's the most fucked up part about it. Is it's